Don't forget to subscribe to the Social Gup and hit that bell icon for latest videos and updates.
9 duels, won 6 successful dribbles. Winning possession back 7 times.
Right.
He was all over the pitch.
Oh, yeah. He was everywhere. And, you know, that's what the modern winger needs to be.
We're going to be looking at one very specific game and one player in particular.
Sounds good.
Anthony Elanga, and how he performed for Nottingham Forest against his old club, Manchester United. And this was on April 1st, 2025. Elanga's just incredible goal.
Yep.
5 minutes into the match.
Lightning quick.
It starts with the Manchester United corner.
Right.
A decent delivery, but Ryan Yates, gets up really well to head it clear.
Okay.
For Forest.
Yeah.
And then like that, the whole game changes.
Yeah, and I think that clearance, it was more than just like getting the ball away. It was the start of that counterattack. And the analysis actually points out that Elanga picks up the loose ball about 10 yards outside of his own box.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to cover 85 meters in 9 seconds.
That's wild.
It's insane. That is pure explosiveness.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder if United's defensive setup anticipated that kind of immediate threat after having a corner like that.
Exactly. And it wasn't like a clear run.
Yeah.
He had to navigate past a couple of United defenders. The video breakdown shows Garnacho trying to make a sliding tackle. It was a desperate attempt. Doesn't quite connect.
Right.
And then it looks like Mazraoui just freezes for a second.
Yeah, just that like split second of hesitation, and against a player like Elanga with that kind of pace.
Right.
It just seems so critical. You look back and you're like,
Fatal.
yeah, fatal,
And then the finish.
Oh my goodness.
He cuts inside onto his left foot.
Yep.
And slots this low shot past Onana.
Beautiful.
YouTube commentary explodes.
Yeah.
At this point, you can really feel the energy of the city ground. Even just watching it back on YouTube, it's like, this wasn't a lucky bounce or anything like that.
And for him to be that composed after that run is just so impressive.
Yeah.
A league double against a club like Manchester United, regardless of their form at the moment, it is a statement.
Yeah.
It really does signify like a shift, at least in those head-to-head matchups.
Yeah.
And it gives Forrest a huge psychological boost. It also kind of raises questions, about the consistency of Manchester United and how they're performing against different kinds of opposition.
Right. And it wasn't just the goal.
No.
I mean, the stats from the game really show this well-rounded performance from Elanga. 9 duels, won 6 successful dribbles. Winning possession back 7 times.
Right.
He was all over the pitch.
Oh, yeah. He was everywhere. And, that's what the modern winger needs to be. And the fact that he won some aerial battles, too, it suggests a surprising physicality for a player that's mostly known for his speed.
Okay, so let's really get into why Elanga was so effective in this game. That exceptional athleticism, that just blistering pace.
Right.
That United's defense just could not cope with.
Yeah.
In that counterattacking situation.
And, I think it exposed maybe a weakness in United's defensive setup.
Right.
Or at least in their recovery speed in that specific moment.
Yeah.
Were they caught too high up the pitch after the corner?
Right.
Did they underestimate, the speed at which Forrest could transition?
Yeah.
These are the kinds of tactical questions that I think this goal raises.
Yeah. But he seemed incredibly focused.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that composure under pressure really suggests that, his game is developing. He's understanding, when to accelerate, when to be precise.
Yeah.
I think it's as much a mental attribute as it is technical, and it makes you wonder what kind of work he's been doing.
Nottingham Forest tactical approach under Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yeah.
Their counterattacking strategy.
Right.
Sitting a bit deeper, absorbing pressure, and then breaking quickly. It wasn't all Elanga, though.
No, it wasn't.
The analysis also makes a point of mentioning Murillo's vital goal line clearance.
Oh, yeah.
Denying Harry Maguire what looked like, a certain equalizer.
Oh, yeah. That was huge.
That's got to be a massive moment in itself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a moment like that is worth almost as much as a goal.
Let's shift our focus to Manchester United's struggles in this game.
Okay.
Which I think it really underscores 24 shots at goal.
Woof.
And yet, they couldn't find the back of the net even once. Diogo Dalot hit the bar. So it's not like they weren't generating chances.
Right.
But that final touch was just missing.
24 shots, 0 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it just immediately makes you think, okay, there's an issue here. either with the quality of those chances,
Right.
or as their manager said, the execution in those final moments.
Manchester United's manager, Ruben Amorim,
Okay.
and he says, "We control the game, but we can't score if the last pass isn't there."
Are they lacking a specific type of player?
Yeah.
Or is it a tactical instruction issue? Elanga took his chance. He took it beautifully. And United had numerous attempts, but they just couldn't find that same ruthlessness.
Nottingham Forest are in a pretty strong position right now.
They are.
Third place in the Premier League.
Yeah.
A comfortable 8 points clear of Chelsea. Champions League qualification is looking like a real possibility.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty big turnarounds.
It signifies, a remarkable period of progress for the club.
Yeah.
To be in that position at this stage of the season.
And Elanga's individual journey
Yeah.
since his move to Nottingham Forest in 2023 for £15 million.
Right.
Has been something else. 6 goals and 8 assists this season. When you look at Manchester United's options on the wings, Antony's finding things tough at Real Betis.
Right.
Garnacho has shown flashes, but maybe lacks consistency.
Yeah.
And while Rashford's current form isn't really detailed here, the fact that they don't really mention him
Right.
positively might suggest that he hasn't been
Right.
what they need either. And the narrative that Manchester United might be regretting selling Elanga for £15 million,
Right.
it seems to be gaining a lot of momentum. And this performance will only fuel that fire more. Meanwhile, Manchester United are sitting in 13th place in the league. And the analysis points out that they haven't had back-to-back wins yet under Ruben Amorim, which, that suggests instability. Can Manchester United actually turn things around?
Yeah.
Can they find some consistency? Or will Elanga's continued success at Nottingham Forest
Right.
just constantly remind them of what might have